Exodus chapter 40. The Lord spoke to Moses and said, On the first day of the first month you are to erect the tabernacle of the tent of meeting, and place the ark of the testimony in it, screening it with the veil. Bring in the table and arrange it as required. Then bring in the lampstand too, and set up its lamps. Place the golden altar of incense in front of the ark of the testimony, and set up the screen at the entrance to the tabernacle. Place the altar for the whole burnt offerings in front of the entrance to the tabernacle of the tent of meeting. Place the basin between the tent of meeting and the altar, and fill it with water. Set up the enclosure of the court, and hang the screen at the gateway of the court. Then, taking the sacred oil, anoint the tabernacle and everything in it, consecrating it with its furniture, so that it will be holy. Anoint the altar for the whole burnt offerings with all its furnishings, and consecrate the altar, which henceforth will be a most holy thing. Anoint the basin with its stand, and consecrate it. Bring Aaron and his sons to the entrance of the tent of meeting, and they are to be bathed. Then clothe Aaron with the priestly garments, and anoint and consecrate him, so that he can serve me in the priesthood. Next, bring his sons and clothe them with tunics. Anoint them as you have anointed their father, to serve me in the priesthood. Their anointing is to confer the priesthood on them forever, from generation to generation. Moses did this. He did exactly as the Lord had commanded him. The tabernacle was set up on the first day of the first month in the second year. Moses set up the tabernacle. He fixed the bases for it, put up its frames, put its crossbars in position, set up its posts. He spread the tent over the tabernacle, and on the top of this the covering for the tent, as the Lord had commanded Moses. He took the testimony and placed it inside the ark. He set the poles to the ark in place, and put the mercy seat on it. He brought the ark into the tabernacle, and put the screening veil in place. Thus he screened the ark of the testimony, as the Lord had commanded Moses. He placed the table in the tent of meeting on the north side of the tabernacle, outside the veil, and on it arranged the loaves as required before the Lord, as the Lord had commanded Moses. He put the lampstand in the tent of meeting, opposite the table, on the southern side of the tabernacle, and he set up the lamps before the Lord, as the Lord had commanded Moses. He put the golden altar in the tent of meeting in front of the veil, and on it burned fragrant incense, as the Lord had commanded Moses. Then he put the screen at the entrance to the tabernacle. Then he put the altar for the whole burnt offerings at the entrance to the tent of meeting, and on it offered the burnt offering and grain offering, as the Lord had commanded Moses. He put the basin between the tent of meeting and the altar, and filled it with water for the ritual washing. This was for Aaron and his sons to wash their hands and feet. Whenever they entered the tent of meeting or approached the altar, they performed the ritual washing, as the Lord had commanded Moses. Moses then set up the enclosure of the court around the tabernacle and the altar, and placed the screen at the gateway to the court. Thus Moses completed the work. Then the cloud covered the tent of meeting, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. Moses could not enter the tent of meeting because of the cloud that rested on it, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. At every stage of their journey, whenever the cloud rose from the tabernacle, the people of Israel would continue their march. If the cloud did not rise, they would wait and would not continue their march until it lifted itself. For the cloud of the Lord rested on the tabernacle by day, and a fire shone within the cloud by night, for all the house of Israel to see. And so it was for every stage of their journey.